I used to dread Mr. Murphy coming into my shop every month. I'm a pharmacist and we have a pharmacy on Pierce Street, and he used to come in every single month for about 10 years. The poor man unfortunately has passed away now, and I remember the first time he came in and he got his wife's tablets. He had the prescription and I brought the stuff out to him and it was €30. I said, now Mr. Murphy, here's your wife's tablets, it's €30 please. And all I heard was, for what? I said, €30 is the cost of your wife's tablets. For what? Because that's the cost of the tablets. Now there's 4 items here. Do you want me to go through the prices? For what? Because that's what the medicine costs. For what? Eventually, I just started to relax. I said, look, I'll take out the list. Here's what she got. She's got every month for the last 6 years previously, so I don't know what the query was. But I used to dread this guy coming in so much. And it was funny. It was one of the reasons I joined Toastmasters actually, is because I was so stressed out with people coming in and hassling me, and especially in that kind of situation where you have somebody who's giving out to you. You know, I didn't really know how to handle myself. But like at the same time, this guy was a big softie, but he kept in this for a while, and it used to just drive me bananas. And I think now, looking back at it now, I think after a while I started to warm to him. And I was very touched actually one day, seriously. He was talking to a nurse and his wife wasn't that well. I think she'd had a stroke a few years previously. And he was talking to me about what the nurse had told him. And he said, oh yes, and I was telling the nurse about you. And I said, I went to see my chemist and he's a friend of mine. And I said, God, well, I've really made it now that I'm this man's friend. I can relax, that's it. But I remember one day in particular, and I was having a very, very bad day. I was going up the walls. And somebody was winding me up, and he came in, and I came out to him anyway, and whatever, he got outside of the wrong side of the bed that morning, and he said, now Mr. Murphy, here's your wife's tablets, the same tablets you got every month for the last 6.5, 7 years. And he went, for what? And he said, it's these tablets here, there's a new one here, that's the doctor's just added. For what? It's for gout, Mr. Murphy now. Okay, can I show you now? It's another $4.50. For what? It's an extra tablet. At this point now, I was at my breaking point. I said, now Mr. Murphy, if you don't mind, I've had a very, very stressful day and I'm just not able for this at the moment. And please, do you not recognise that I always look after you and your wife when you come in? And he came back to me and he said to me, do you know, every time I leave the shop, I feel a new man. But quick as you like, despite being stressed, I got back to him straight away and I said, Mr. Murphy, what you do once you leave this shop is your own business. So I remember there was an awkward silence, and I looked at him, he looked at me. One of the girls started to laugh, another girl started to laugh. I smiled, he smiled. I scored my point. So I was the thumbs up. So ladies and Mr. Toastmaster and Mr. General Evaluator and fellow oppressed shop workers, I'm here tonight to tell you about the most important lesson in my career. I'm 16 years nearly qualified as a pharmacist, is that your health is your wealth. I hear people every single day coming in complaining about the price of medicines, the price of doctors, the price of getting a procedure done, the price of, my mother in particular at the moment, it gives out about having to go get blood tests and to spend money. And I say to her, Mom, look at it this way, it's peace of mind. You can't put a price on peace of mind. One thing that kind of worries me at the moment is there's a lot of young people like ourselves, young professionals, and mental health. I think because the stresses and strains of jobs, of trying to balance a job, a family life, also have to pay back mortgages. There's a lot of young people who are under extreme pressure, and the work life is not getting any easier than it ever was. So I see that in young people, and it kind of worries me as well a little bit. I had my own issue with sort of a mental illness a few years ago, and you know, I kind of feel a lot of empathy for these people when they come in, and I hope that, you know, that people can get through the black tunnel, so to speak, and get on the other side. And it was very worrying, and this is serious. I heard a few weeks ago, some guy was saying that his boss said to him, now, it's been a tough year at work, and to be honest now, I have a question to ask you. And the guy thought, oh God, you know, things are a bit dodgy here, I don't know what's going to happen. And he said to him, would you like your Christmas bonus? And he said, yes, I'd love it. He said, now, would you like your Christmas bonus in cash, or would you like it in Prozac? Well, I'm saying saying this like to somebody. I couldn't believe it, and that's anyway. Come back to what I was saying about mental health. It makes a real joke of mental health, but so I think really that you know, I'll have a word with that boss if I ever find out who he is. But I think, you know, really, like I say, your health is your wealth, and not just your physical health, but also your mental health. In the area we're in, it's quite an oldish area. Like there's a lot of people with emphysema and sort of lung issues. It's a legacy just of the area that I work in. But also, I think in the government schemes as well, like healthcare costs money. Unfortunately, we can't do anything about that. And people who pay for their medicine have to pay. But now, for people who have medical cards, there's a $2.50 per item charge on the items that they get in the month, and there's a limit, there's a cap on it of €25. So in a family, the most somebody would pay is €25. Now, I get a lot of hassle every single day. I get people trying to con me out of $2.50, and it really annoys me because it's a tax, and I see myself as a tax collector, and I have to fight with people literally to get $2.50 off them, and I wouldn't even mind. I don't even get a cut of it. This is the thing. Seriously, you know, I have to give this money back. It's taken from me. It's not even I don't even give it. It's the money is taken back from me by the government. So you know, I really get so frustrated with people. And I was talking to a locum pharmacist last year about it. And I said, you know, really, people are really around here. They really get up my goat, especially around Pear Street as well. They're all related. So yeah. No, seriously, now you have to be very careful what you say, because you say it to. And I got really so frustrated talking to a locum about it, and he came up with a great story, or a great line, and I thought it really. He said, you know, the problem with the gene pool is that there's no lifeguard. That's actually a good way of thinking about it. So really, so when I'm thinking about life, some days we have our good days and our bad days, and I saw a cartoon quite recently. And it was a picture of a toothbrush and a toilet roll, and they were talking to each other. And the toothbrush was saying to the toilet roll, "Sometimes I think I have the worst job in the world," and they this thought bubbles coming out from the toilet roll. "Oh yeah, right." So you can imagine two different jobs. So maybe things aren't so bad. And my father was a pharmacist before me, and he's a friend of his who's retired now. And he's, you know, I used to get quite stressed about my job, and he said to me, "Look, don't worry about life as a pharmacist. It isn't permanent." So I said, well, thank God for that. You can get too wrapped up in the whole situation. So really, just to sum up now, everybody look after your health, and I think money and health, yes, money on healthcare is well spent, and you know, I think, you know, especially going to see doctors, I know they're expensive, I know there's a cost involved. But like I say, your health is your wealth. It's the most important thing we have. It's only when we don't lose, or we don't have it, that we really miss it. And I composed a little poem in honour of the night, in honour of the speech. So if I have time for it, I'll just say, as we grow older year by year, your pharmacist always mourns. Because we no longer feel our oats, we start to feel our corns.